What's up guys? Welcome back to another video on the Auto Garage YouTube channel. Today, I'm going to be talking about that old saying that I've heard a ton, and I'm sure you've heard, Miata is always the answer. I've heard the saying well before I was even interested in buying a Miata, and I think now that I own a Miata, I believe the saying holds a lot of truth to it. So today, I'm going to be explaining why I agree with the saying and what it really means. And of course, if you enjoy this video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot. Thank you. And my next point is the price. Not only for the price of these cars, but also insurance is cheap, the aftermarket is relatively cheap, and things such as maintenance is cheap because there are so many parts. Mazda made so many of these, so nothing's ever scarce or hard to find. I got my car bought and sorted out for less than $2,500, which is a really good deal. These cars are also great on gas, which if you're just getting into car enthusiasm, and especially if this is your only car, that's a very big benefit.
My next point about why Miata is always the answer is the power plant. I have a 1996 Miata, so I have the 1.8 liter double overhead cam 16 valve 4-cylinder, which goes to the factory limited slip differential and out the rear tires. The engine is lightweight and fuel efficient and relatively very reliable, and it's also the classic enthusiast front engine rear wheel drive layout going to the 5-speed transmission. Of course, any 24-year-old engine, especially one with 148,000 miles on it, is going to have its issues. Mine loves to both burn and leak oil, which is why every half tank of gas, I check it and just top it off a little bit with Castrol GTX high mileage 5W30. And I know what you're going to say, Michael, aren't Miatas really slow? And yeah, they are. From 1990 to 1994, they had the 1.6 liter engine that made around 110, 116 crank horsepower, and my 1.8 liter engine only made around 138. And yeah, that's not a lot of power, but you have to keep in mind, this car only weighs 2,200 pounds. This is an incredibly light car, so that power is all it needs to get around corners really quickly. And these tires are really small and thin, so you can also brake loose at lower speeds. Wrapped around the 4-lug 14-inch wheels, I have Falcons that are 195 by 50. And going back to my other point, yes, these tires are very thin, so that means this car is going to brake loose at lower speeds, making it both easier and safer to learn car control. And my last exterior point about why the Mazda Miata is always the answer is how it was built. This car has a 50-50 even weight distribution on the center, which is very impressive. And also, this car has no electronic nannies to cut the fun. It doesn't have traction control, it doesn't have anti-lock brakes, no stability control, and obviously no lane assist or any of that modern stuff. So this car makes for a very raw and fun experience.
And my next point about why Mazda Miata is always the answer is, of course, the interior. It's where you're going to spend most of your time, unless it's broken a lot. But as you can see, I'm 6'1", and I fit very comfortably in the interior, and it's important to note that my aftermarket seat moves me up about 2 inches, so if you were in the OEM seat, you could be even farther back if you like, and it's just a great place to be. There are cheap plastics, but it was early 90s, so what can you really expect? And of course, it has the clutch pedal and the 5-speed manual. These cup holders here do make it a little bit useless to shift, as they are right in the way, as you can see right here in this little video. And the top, of course, goes down really simple. It's just 2 latches right here and right here, and when it's a warm day out, you can just throw the top down. You don't have to hold a button and wait 30 seconds for it to go down. It just does it automatically, and same thing, you just grab it, clip it back up. It's a really simple process. This car it doesn't overcomplicate anything. Everything is simple to understand. And that's my next point. This car is simple. It doesn't use any modern technology, like I've already said. So when something breaks, it's not going to be an expensive headache. It'll be relatively easy to find parts. The parts you do find will be relatively cheap, and it'll be relatively easy to install. This car is very carefree. I've had it for about 4,000 or 5,000 miles, and I've had no issue at all, and I've driven it pretty hard. This car can definitely take a beating.
And yes, the Miata only has 2 seats, but that doesn't mean it's that impractical, which is my next point. The Miata isn't that unpractical, and nobody's going to buy a Roadster thinking it's going to be a great family car. This car, as you can see, Has a decently sized center console. It is smaller than average, I will admit, but it has a glove box. And yes, a full-sized glove box, which is impressive considering other roadsters such as the S2000 never came with a glove box. It's got a little storage cubby right there in front of the shifter. The rear passenger seat has a little pocket so you can put stuff in there. And of course, if you have the top up, you have this entire shelf to put stuff. And the trunk space is also very recently sized. And my final and most important reason why I believe that Mazda Miata is always the answer is, of course, the driving experience. This car, if you've never driven a Miata, then you wouldn't understand, and I really suggest you drive one before you pass any judgment on this car. This car feels faster than it is, just because it's so small and so tossable. And this car is, it's kind of funny to drive, honestly, because you drive up next to a Honda Accord, you feel like a go-kart. That Accord looks like Gravedigger. It's hilarious. And just the way this car feels, again, 50-50 weight distribution. You can throw this thing around corners all day. It won't hesitate at all. Especially on a warm day like today, with the top down, you can't drive this car without a smile on your face. It's just so fun. And this car, especially on coilovers, is nothing short of extremely uncomfortable. You're always looking to avoid bumps and potholes and little tree branches and like little sticks on the road and stuff. And that honestly kind of makes it more fun. And yes, especially lowered, this car is extremely impractical. When I'm going to go get food or to go get gas or whatever, I have to consider, is where I'm going to have speed bumps? Is there going to be a really steep driveway? Am I going to have to enter this lot from another way? Thank you for sticking around to the end of the video. It means a lot to me. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment down below of what you did or did not like about the video. What do you want me to do next? And of course, please subscribe. Have a wonderful day and be nice. Thank you.